Hi everyone, I'm Sam from Golf Saved My Life, and this is 9 Holes, 9 Questions. On this show, we treat 9 questions like 9 holes and use them to walk through someone's story in golf, where they came from, where their game is now, and how the sport fits into their life and mental health. We split the round into 3 parts: holes 1 through 3, where we focus on your golfing origins; holes 4 through 6, where's your game right now and the grind we're all working on; holes 7 through 9, we focus on mindset, pressures, and life off of the course. If you love honest conversations about golf, blow-up holes, breakthroughs, and the way this game for both tests you and save you, you're in the right place. Let's head off to the first tee. This is 9 Holes, 9 Questions. Welcome back to episode 5 of 9 Holes, 9 Questions. This week I'm joined by Marv, or as you may know him online, at Get Up and Go Rentals. Hi Marv, how you doing?
Thanks. Yourself?
Yes, good, thank you, mate. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it, taking time out of your day. If we could start off, if you'd be so kind as to tell everyone what your account is online, what your purpose is, what messages what your accounts online are all about, really.
So I Get Up and Go Rentals is my handle. So I own a townhouse in La Xenia in Spain. There's a reason why I have that house in Spain, which I'm sure that we'll talk about later on down the line. But ultimately, it's there as a business for me to try and get golfers, families, paddle enthusiasts, cyclists, runners, tiddlywink players, anyone effectively to get into my house. It's a great house. I renovated it. I've done it with one of my best mates as well. We put aircon and stuff in it. We've done the kitchen and decorated it. And it's in a place called La Xenia, in between Alicante and Murcia. And it's beautiful. I've had it a couple of years. It's slowly getting there. It's only really been the last 3 or 4 months, 5 months that I've really started to push it on Instagram. I'm a graphic designer by trade, so I should really know a lot more about the social media side of stuff, but I kind of don't really. I'm more of a print designer, so the kind of internet side of things when it first came out was a bit daunting for me. Over the last few months, I really kind of grabbed Instagram by the proverbials, and it's another world, mate. It's I'm linked in with my creative business and other bits and bobs, but I can literally have a chat with someone on Instagram, and like now, 2 seconds later, we're sitting there and we're having a chat and we're having a meeting with each other, and it's just opened up a few avenues for me, and I'm really excited. I think what I've learned having a place in Spain is that it's not that niche to have a house in Spain, being like a Brit abroad. And so what I've decided to do, there's only so many times that I could really tell people on initially Facebook that family and friends, do you want to go on holiday? That a business isn't going to work like with friends and family. So hence I then I've built the Get Up and Go Rentals. I've done the brand, I've done the logo, I've done the marketing, I've built the website. I've done a lot, and it's quite catchy. And it's slowly now, for me, I'm kind of having a place in Spain. I've got to that point where I need to tell people why they need to go to my place in Spain, as opposed to I've got a place in Spain, look at me. So I kind of started looking at it. I've got families that go out there and friends and family and stuff. And then I was just like, well, why don't I start hitting, they've got a specific market. So I just, being a big golf fan and a big golfer, I'm like, well, why don't I just start hitting the golf market? And where the house is, within 10 kilometres, there's 15 to 20 golf courses that are stunning. La Manga's only 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
So I've started doing that. So the last 3 or 4 months, I got myself up to 1,200 followers. It's slowly but surely building bit by bit. And then my brain's like, right, okay, well, if I do that for the golf market, this is the bigger plan. And no one knows this, by the way. This is hot off the press. I'm then going to start doing the golf market. I'm then going to start hitting the paddle market. I'm then going to start hitting the running market, the cycling market, and just find out a bit more about them sports. Probably get into a bit of paddle because I love my racket sports as well. There's a new paddle club just opened up 10 minutes around the corner from the house, which I'm just like, well, it's perfect. So I've been on the phone to them already. I've got hopefully someone going out there in the next few weeks, a new paddle guy that I've been in conversation with. He's just going to go out and do some content for me. I've had Bill Skeggs go out there recently. Is a videographer who I had a great conversation with a while back. And I'm in that position where I can give a few kind of free holidays away. We can scratch each other's back. And I feel quite
Yeah.
clever on my part. It's so like Phil he had a week or a few days out of a mate when played some golf. Well, Marv, if I do that, do you want me to do a bit of video work in return for you? That'd be amazing. So all of a
Yeah.
sudden I've then got some drone work, which I would never have got in a million years. I'm just kind of
No,
just
no.
trying to think out the box a little bit. And like I say, as we go into this conversation, I have that place out in Spain for events that have happened prior to that over the last 7 years. So we briefly
Yeah.
spoke off camera. I kind of just want to get across to people that I know Charlie Big Balls, some southern monkey cockney that's got a place in Spain. Look at me, he's a cheeky chappy. I am a cheeky chappy. But like I say, that my point being that there is a reason why I've got that house in Spain. And it's
Yeah.
effectively, it's me. It's me. I'm work in progress to try and get that as a business for my three kids.
Yeah, yeah. And I think from the outside looking in, like I've not known you for very long. Obviously, we've
Yes.
spoke a lot a lot in the last few months and got to know each other a lot better. But I don't think I've ever looked at any of your content and thought that at all. I don't think it's ever come across like that. I think the place looks absolutely amazing. So whatever footage is coming out from the guys who are going over there, it
Well,
looks unreal.
that's really nice to know. And do you know what? I've only really started recently, the last few weeks, been doing kind of me. Hello, it's a Marv check-in. How you all doing? And I am generally a
Yeah,
huge
yeah.
advocate for men's mental health, and that side of it kind of got me going. I'm kind of talking to the guys that say it loud now and again, and I'm a big advocate for
Hmm.
them. I've got some of their merchandise and stuff like that, and they've got this new set up WhatsApp, which is just fantastic. And
Yeah.
but the house is beautiful. It's no, it's not like a 1.4 million Love Island house. It's not, and I don't advertise it in that. But what it is, it's just a lovely two-bed house, beautiful traditional Spanish townhouse. And without trying to sell it to you, the location is phenomenal. I did have an apartment
Mm.
that I sold that, but the location, honestly, it is just you kind of, I'm 800 yards from the beach, from Lasenia Beach. I'm 800 yards north of Lasenia Boulevard, which is like Europe's largest shopping centre. And I'm literally 5 minutes from bars, restaurants, market, petrol stations, the lot. But it is just off the beaten track and a little cul-de-sac that people don't go
Yeah.
walking past at 1 o'clock in the morning and throwing bottles
Mm.
around and stuff like that. It's got its own communal pool that it shares with kind of 8 other residents, and it's just ideal. I am denied whether to keep it. I'm still on the fence a little bit, but I'm leaning towards now a lot more in keeping it.
Mm.
And that's it really, mate. It's lovely. I put my heart and soul into it. And I've done it with one of my best mates initially, helped me along that journey. And I'm slowly pretty much brought him out of that journey because he was just like, look, I'm helped you financially a little bit. We went in together and he knows that I've done a lot. And I will
Yeah.
always be eternally grateful for him for that. And I'm
Mm.
slowly but surely kind of taking him out of that equation with the nicest respect because I have done it all, and I'm working hard on it. And like I say, the house it's lovely, and it's a lot of work. And there's like I say, there is a story and a journey up to that point as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. Thanks for sharing that, Marv. Appreciate that. If we roll into the questions then, yeah. So how did it all start for you? What's your first real memories of golf?
That's a good question. I mean, you can probably hear the cogs going around there, mate. That's the obvious sometimes. Do you know what? Do you know what I really do? I've always played sport. I've always played sport, and I love my sport. I'm ambidextrous, and I've always said to myself that and without sounding like really big headed here, but I just know that if I'd focused on one particular sport, I know that I would have been really, really, really good at it. I know I would. In my heart, I
Yeah,
know I would have. But I didn't. I played all sports, and I don't blame my parents for that. It was just that's what I done. And to this day, I still play lots of different sports. I played a lot of football. I then stacked my tibia, my fibia, and dislocated my ankle twice at the age of 15
oof,
and at the age of 14. I've been on crutches for nearly 4 years of my life, but you would never know. I've
jeez.
got some scars up my leg and a lump on my leg, but it was horrific football injuries. But along that journey, I've always played my golf. So my real first memory is that where my parents used to live on a council estate, they used to live opposite this huge field. And from the age of 10, 11 onwards, I used to go up onto the field with a bucket of balls and I would take an umbrella up 100 yards away and try and hit it would have been like a sand wedge or something, or pitching wedge or something, up and hit the ball into the umbrella. And I did do
Yeah.
it a few times. I knew there was something in me. I was like, actually, I'm quite good at this game. But
Mm.
that for me is quite a personal moment. It's not like watching Sevi in the Open and watching
Yeah, yeah,
and I've always watched the golf. I'm a massive, massive fan of golf. But from a personal point, if I really go back, I just look at that council estate that was brought up on, the fields across the road, and I used to go out there and just hit hundreds of golf balls at the weekends during the week and go up there and just slowly but surely improve myself.
yeah. What made you go up there in the first place? Was it just something you'd seen and thought, like I say, because you're so into sports, just thought, well, let me see if I can do that too, or was it,
Yeah,
just conversation or someone who was
no, I
into it
think
as
it
well?
pretty much hit the nail on the head, mate. As far as I can go back, it was literally just I love all sports, and I
Hmm.
can't even remember how I came across my first set of golf clubs. It seems an absolute. I mean, I've got a shocking memory, no matter what, mate. So, but I just remember saying to myself, "Well, let me just. I must have got some clubs from somewhere." And I used to play with an old friend, Keith, who's now in Australia, an old schoolmate, and he used to play golf. And he used to come down, knock on the door, and we would go up that field and just hit
Yeah.
hundreds and hundreds of golf balls up to that umbrella, turn around, and that's quite a pivotal point for me. And it was something that I was like, right, I do love this. And then as I got a little bit older, when I was 17, I passed my driving test. First time, I think I had 16 lessons. That I used
Oh
to
wow.
know my driving instructor, and I used to play golf with him. And I was then a
Okay.
member
Yeah.
at Lullinston Golf Course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to love Lolly, absolutely love it. And he used to take me on a driving lesson. No, we used to go and play for golf. He used to take me to the golf. We'd go and play 18 holes. And then he would then let me drive the half-hour drive home to the house or 45-minute drive home for free, but as part of a driving lesson, effectively. Play
What a
with
great
him,
idea.
I was effectively getting secret driving lessons. So I probably more than the
Yeah.
official 17 that I just stated. I probably had maybe 20 odd. But it was just a way for me. And I'm having flashbacks now of driving that little old Fiesta up to Lully and getting out playing some golf. But Lully's an awesome golf course. It's public. It's always had kind of it's not like a member. I was a member, but not what I would call a members golf course. They used to sometimes have people on there with
Yeah.
jeans on and stuff like that. And I'm a bit of a snob when it comes to golf etiquette. I'm not going to lie. And
Hmm.
that club then got better and better, and I was a member there for quite a few years. And it's got the potential to hold it like a European Tour competition there because the views and the space and whatever handicap
It's
you
lovely.
play around there, if you're playing off 13, you're playing off 10 or 9 at any other golf course because it was so hilly, above your
Yeah.
feet, below your feet. And if you shoot well around there, I think it was like 6,900 yards off the whites, which is a fair old whack.
Hmm.
You're playing good golf if you get into the low or
Yeah.
down to single figures around there. So it's Lundy's Lundy's good memories. But yeah, free driving lessons for me, mate, which was always handy.
It's a little bonus there
Absolutely,
for you,
mate.
isn't it? Right, moving nicely into hole two. So where's your game at now then? Do you hold an official handicap or what do you consider good golf these days,
So
Marv?
I've gone from playing many moons ago from playing 3 times a week. I then had 3 children. There goes golf.
Down to sit.
Yeah, pretty much. So I don't get out nowhere near as much as what I do. My official handicap right now is 11.1, I think it is.
Okay.
I've been down to 6. My society
Yeah.
handicap is 6. I think a good handicap for me is maybe kind of 9 or 10. But I only
Hmm.
really now play, if I'm lucky, once a month. So
Yeah.
I'm more than happy playing off of 9, 10, or 11 and only playing once a month. So I could potentially not pick up a set of clubs for 6 months and go and shoot, I don't know, an 82 or 83. So I know there's a
Yeah.
half,
Yeah.
and I don't want to come across as being smug here at all, but I just know that there is. I'm not the longest in the world, but
No.
I'm a pretty steady golfer. I've always been pretty consistent. I think if there's any one downside to my golf, and it always has been, and I don't practice it, and I should do because it's the most important club in the bag for me, it's the putter.
Yeah. I think that's
People
true of
forget,
everyone,
mate.
isn't it?
I could easily. So just, I'm going to go categorically live and say this: do not give me a putt from 3 foot because I'll miss it. So just don't, just let me putt out because I need to. I've missed putts in all my golfing career. I've missed silly putts, and it's just that concentration. You focus on driving. You focus on a nice strike with an iron. You focus on your short game. You visualize that dustbin around the hole. you walk up to a 3-foot putt and think you're just going to knock it in. Well, enough, it
Yeah.
lips out, it pushes, it pulls, it does whatever. And actually, that 3-foot putt is still the equivalent of hitting 310-yard drive.
Yeah, exactly. Still a stroke,
I
isn't
think
it?
a lot of
Still a stroke.
people, as us amateurs, forget that. And I think it's putting is something that I do. It's something that I do want to do, but I know I do need putting lessons. 100% I need
Yeah.
lessons because that will take 7, 8 shots. So if I'm shooting an 82, an 83, an 84, and I'm putting well, all of a sudden I'm shooting in mid 70s, 879.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just because I've tied it up that one thing, I might push the ball and slice off a drive, but I know I've got the potential to get it back up there. And then if I can roll in at my level, I should be rolling in 8-foot putts for birdie, for par, for bogey to say that I should be rolling
Yeah.
in. But it's my putting is the real weak point of my game, and I've always been aware of that.
When you're playing in that single digit handicap level, bordering
Yeah,
double digits, that odd bogey where it could have
it
been a
makes me
par makes such a massive difference to the score by the end, doesn't it? Because you really can't lose anywhere near as many
absolutely, mate.
shots as
I am at that kind of point, and I can't turn around and beat myself up because, like I say, especially in the winter months, I don't really get out at all. Stuck in the sand
no.
trap event we went the other month. It's the first time I played in 4 or 5 months, and I think I shot an 84. And I'm beating myself
Yeah.
up, but obviously then you compare that to someone's paying off of 18 or 28. So I don't want to sound across that I'm being a right snobby. It's just I guess it's just the ability that I'm at my level, and it's far from it. I'm far
Yeah.
from like the best level in the world because I've got a cousin who used to play on the Jamaica tour. He can put out a
Okay.
3-wood from 260 yards with a slight draw and stiff it to 3 foot and knock it in for an eagle on a par 5. I've seen it. I don't have that in my locker, mate. So from my level as an amateur to his level on the Jamaica tour, and then from his level to another tour, from that level to the DP tour to the Europe. I mean, pardon the pun, but the golf, it's huge. It's huge, the
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
But for me, it's when I play golf, I just focus about me, my score. I mean, I love being out on the course. I love being out with people. I love talking to people. It's a massive part for me, the bigger part. But I am really, really competitive, and I always have been. And like I say, I love my golf. I always want to improve myself. But I know from the years that I've been playing, I can't just pick up and just go out and shoot a 75 if I haven't played for
No.
6 months or for 4 months. It's just impossible. Your short game goes, if my putting's not great, and then well, there goes. It's not going to happen. But I mean, once in a blue moon, I might shoot in the 90s. It's a real kind
Mm.
of bad day and a blow up day. But I've never played off of 28. I went straight in. I remember a competition I played once many, many moons ago, and I don't think I had an official I'm talking years ago. I don't think I had an official handicap, and they put me down as 18. And I kind of strolled in with 62 points or something stupid. So I was like, right, well, I'm clearly not an 18, and I hadn't played really in a competition. Anyway, that was then
No.
straight ball down. Right, well, next one you're off of 8. Okay, and then we went
Mm.
from there, and now obviously none of my England that it bases it on the last 10 or 20 rounds of golf I think you played, which is
Yeah, I think it's the last 8 out of
yeah, I think
20 rounds. They give you the average of that. I think
yeah,
that's right.
I'm kind of a fan of. I think because I think it's pretty true to how you're playing at that particular time, and it's all well and good me turning around saying, "Oh yeah, I've got a 78 in me," and I've got this. Actually, what I've also learned, I try and focus when I can on the bad shots because I know my ability, and everyone can turn around and say, "Oh, do you remember that time when I chipped in from there? Do you remember when I got that hole in one? Do you remember when I?" Actually, for me, the important bit is focus on the bad stuff. And you focus on the
Yeah.
bad stuff. The same as my kids playing sport now. They're all sport mad. Focus on the bad stuff. Well, the good stuff's always going to be there. And all of a sudden, the bad stuff makes
Yeah.
the good stuff even better. And then you then become the complete person. And like my daughter is gymnastics, training with national champions. My eldest is football mad. And my youngest, he's only 11 and he is a phenomenal badminton player.
Oh,
There's
really?
potentially county in him, but he's only 11. He trains with 16, 17, they're 18-year-olds that he's tiny and he's playing against 6-foot players and he's happy for them to smash it past him because it's making him better. And
Yeah.
I just adore that in my kids that they're sport mad. So
I think that's good for any sport, isn't it? I think it's like golf particularly. I love playing with people who are better than me because ultimately that's what you're trying to do. You can actually see how they're navigating
absolutely.
those shots. And I think it's true of any sports. I mean, who else are you going to learn from or be inspired by to go out and go out and try and
Absolutely,
compete
mate. And
against?
it can up your game. I mean, I've been out and playing off
Yeah.
of 10, 11 or 12, and I've been out I get the opportunity to play Turnberry every year. Yeah,
Oh
so
wow.
we're not digressing because we're talking golf, but it turns out that I know the head of the scratch committee at Turnberry, as you
Oh,
do.
okay.
As
Yeah.
you do. I went to a music event a while back, and a friend of mine knew that I was a big golf fan. My mate Jock, who's a DJ, and he said that I've got a friend, I think he plays at Turnberry. And I was just like, "Pardon?" I said, I don't know. I know Turnberry, but I don't know anyone that's played it." And he said, "Do you want me to give
Mm.
him a call?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it kind of went silent. He's like, "Do you want me to call him now?" I was like, "It's right
Yeah.
now." So anyway, long story short, rang him, went up. Probably this was 2 or 3 years ago. I went up with one of our best mates. We got to play Robert the Bruce. We then got
Yeah.
to play
Wow.
the Alsa, and um, we didn't pay £500, put it that way. A real good
No. No.
concession. I'm going up again in June or July this year. It's now gone up
Yeah.
to £1,000 a round at Turnberry, which is just
Yeah.
ludicrous. I mean, it's a stunning golf course, but I would not pay that money. I love if I had that money
No.
to pay for
It's
round of golf. It's just ludicrous, but people do.
yeah, and I imagine they've probably still got a fairly full tee sheet, haven't they? That's the thing
What's
with
it?
some of these clubs. We can all complain about how much they're charging, but I can't imagine they've got
No,
any
there's
empty
revenues
days
in there, mate,
playing.
and it's lots of
Yeah.
Americans,
Yeah.
and honestly, if I didn't have children, I probably wouldn't be in this country. But the flip side, if I was, I would probably go up to somebody. The guy that I know said to me, "Look, said Mark, if you didn't have children, he said I could get you a flat up there. We can then get you. They get the Americans come over, and you just go and caddy them. You give four, five
Yeah. Yeah.
hundred dollars in your pocket. Then you go out and have a round of golf around the house on your own. I mean, what life?
Yeah.
But
It's
the walk from the
complete.
fourth where is it? The 4th to the 10th, probably one of the greatest walks in world golf. It's just stunning up to that lighthouse. You kind of roll into the you don't kind of go to the end of the road. It just opens up and Turnberry's there. You go into the car park.
Yeah.
I mean, even the grass in the car park is better than some of the putting greens I've played on. It's just it's bonkers, and it's just stooped with history, and to have that opportunity for me to play that every year for what I get it for, I mean, I can't say no.
Yeah.
And whilst we are, and I don't think we're digressing from questions here because
No.
well,
No,
I know
mate.
that we're
No, you're fine.
talking golf, but Turnberry's up there. But if we are talking like beautiful golf courses, the most stunning golf course I've ever played in my life, and yet again, a friend of mine is a member here. I think they've only got 200 members. Is Druids Glen in Dublin. You ever get
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
chance to play a golf course? Oh my God. I've never been on a golf course where I literally couldn't wait to get to the next tee just to see what the hole looked like.
Just take it
They
all in.
call it the Augusta of Ireland, and there's part of it where it's based on Amen Corner. It is
Okay. Yeah.
stunning, mate. Honestly, I
Yeah.
get goosebumps talking about it. And like I say, I love Turnberry, but Druids Glen is you're doing well to for me at the moment because there's a million golf courses out there. I want to play. I want to play Port Rush. I'd like to play the New Zealand club, which is kind of off the charts. And there's lots of clubs out there, but right now, like Druids Glen is, I think it's straight up my number one at the moment. It's beautiful. Yeah, it's stunning,
Really.
mate.
I'll have to have a look. I want to get over to Ireland more. I've got family from over there, and well, from the north of the island, and I've spent a lot of time over there. None in
It's
from a golfing point of view, and it's something that I do sort of need
it,
to tick off the
stunning, mate.
list.
And the mad thing is, like, even because we live quite close to each other, I think, don't we?
Yeah,
Close.
yeah,
And even now, I mean, it was only recently, about 2 or 3 years ago, that I knew Sidcup, and actually longer than that, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, that I knew Sidcup Golf Club even existed. I mean, my boy goes to school in the back of it. I didn't even know it was there. You get these clubs that they're literally on your doorstep, and I feel like I play quite a lot of golf courses. There is
yeah,
thousands out there. You just don't
yeah.
realise, and that's just like where we live. But you then go over to Ireland, you go to Scotland, you go to
Mm.
Wales. I mean, some of the courses are just stunningly beautiful.
Even for us, like we're both in the southeast of England, like you can get into northern France pretty quickly and cheaply, really. And there's some quite nice courses on I think the Olympic course was not too far away from Calais,
That's
if I
probably right. And you got
recall.
is it the 2K? I mean, the 2K.
Yeah, Le Touquet is pretty close as
If you're
well,
going to
isn't
do
it?
that,
And
mate, you might as well get on a plane and go to Spain. I know someone's got this,
yeah, yeah,
but no, you're right. But all over the world, but Europe, it's easy for
yeah,
us to get to. You can rent clubs out there if you wanted to. Do you know what I mean? You're there within a couple of hours and
yeah,
you're playing a completely different golf course. But like where we are, we've got the London club that's only 15 minutes from me.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Same for me. Yeah,
there is some beautiful golf courses, not just where we live, but just wherever you go. You look at Apple Maps and you zoom out in, there's a golf course. There's a golf course. You drive along. Oh, what's that? I didn't even know it was there. And you go past the junction
Yeah.
on the M25, and there's another golf course, and you're looking at it. Didn't even know it
Yeah.
existed.
The amount of times I've gone somewhere on a train and on the maps, I'm like, where's that? Where's that? Where's that? Trying to suss out whether I can go and play
Yeah,
it
I've had
anytime
quite a
soon.
few in Surrey. There's lots of courses. There's courses Downs.
Yeah.
Trying to think of someone off the top of my head, but I used to play in a society, and we used to play a lot in Kent and Surrey, and it's just like Bletchley and North Downs, and
I think we're quite lucky where we are.
where we are competition. We're in
There's a lot in a very short
absolutely,
drive,
and then
I
you
think.
start going down the coast and down towards Bournemouth. I done like a tour of Bournemouth a few years ago with two of my mates. We just went in his motorhome, put our clubs in there, found a field, paid £17 a night for the field, which justified paying 150 quid to play at Remedy Oak, which is beautiful. But we played the Isle of Purbeck that overlooked Sandbanks, and I think that was 45 quid, which is stunning. Then on the way home back to Surrey, we played Tandridge. Which was a bit trumpy, about 120 quid. But when you're paying 17 quid a night, we're like, well, we can justify paying that on the. But they are out there. Like I said, there are some stunning golf courses out there.
Yeah, I think we're very lucky in this part of the
100%.
world. Fantastic. Right, if we move on to hole 3, turning point. So was there a particular moment or person in your golfing journey that changed everything for you, that made you take things a little bit more seriously?
I don't think there's any particular person. I think I kind of hit on it earlier, I think, to a degree, where I'd broken my leg in football, and that was a point where I was just like, I can't play football anymore. I can't play football. I cannot go through. I would not wish it on my worst enemy what I went through in football. But the second time, man, I had to have one of them frames on my leg. I had to have an epidural. I had morphine injected into my bloodstream. I was on crutches for 2.5 years because the road, blah, 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 blah. And that for me was a point where I'm like, right, I cried cutting my football boots in half. And then I just looked at my golf clubs and thought, right, that's it. Unless I fall down a hole and sprain my ankle, I'm not that small. I wouldn't actually fall down the hole. If I was to sprain my ankle, for example, I can live with that. But that kind of sport, it's not a physical sport.
No, it's not a contact sport, is it? No.
And that was, for me, that was a pivotal point for me to go, right, let me just get them clubs out now and just really focus. Although I was playing from a younger age at the fields and here and then everywhere, more of a point was from a sport point of view, it was no more football. And I miss football. I miss the smell of the changing rooms. I just miss that team event, and I miss it all massively. But I could not go through breaking my leg for a third time, which I just know probably would have happened. So for me, that's it.
It does. It progressively gets worse, doesn't it? If you keep repeating an injury, if it's the same particular limb as well, it's just you're almost waiting for it to happen.
I think it was one of them ones where I just got to a stage where football wasn't for me, and it pains me because my dad's 80 and he had trials for England when he was 18. Okay. There's a book called The Pilot FC, and there's a book about my dad. Up until the age of 57, he was club captain of 2 football clubs at a really, really high level. He's played at the Valley, at Palace, at Millwall, and you go through these stats, and for every single stat, Freddie Bailey. He's got better stats than mine, Giggs. It's taller than me. He's only 5'6", but my dad had legs like tree trunks. He went centre forward, back to a centre back, and that was it. So football was always, or sport's always been in like the family blood, and football is the number one sport really for my dad especially. But then, like I say, after being on crutches for that amount of time, and I think the second time, man, I was self-employed, and I was just like, oh, I can't do this, and I can't do it, and that was it. So that's when the golf really started going, right, let me just focus on that. Other than me playing badminton and other sports and snooker and darts, you name it along the journey, then really become kind of my number one sport, really.
So how easy or difficult was it to hang up the boots after the leg injury? Was it a case of you had to be talked out of it, or were you very much, I'm still going to go back and play, I'm still going to go back and play, or was it, did you come to terms with it pretty quickly?
Because like I say, I wouldn't wish what I'd been through on my worst enemy, and it was a real horrific ordeal. But next to me, I was laying next to a bed with a guy that had been in a skiing accident. A guy called, I'll never forget his name. His name was Aid, and he'd been in a skiing accident, and he basically, his feet were like this, but one was completely ran the other way. And he had this same thing. He had to have this frame on his leg. They'd spent 2 years trying to get the frame to work on his leg for it to connect. In the end, they had to amputate his leg. And I don't want this to be a morbid conversation. So as far as the leg break went, it was horrific. I've got photos and I've still got the. Have I got them here? Have I got them here? You're going to love this if I have. I've got them somewhere. I've got the pins. I can't believe I'm going to do this. I'm certain I've got them somewhere. We are.
I thought you were just about to flash
Oh,
a
no,
picture
I'm
of your
not gonna
broken
do
leg,
that, 'cause
Marv. So
there's some people are squeamish.
yeah, I was going to say, viewer discretion is advised.
Where's my camera? That's a pin.
Yeah.
I forgot I had it. That's a pin from my leg.
Good God.
I had 6 or 8 of them in my leg, and for some reason, it was like a plunk. I kept them. I don't know why. I've got one of them. I've got the pins out in my leg. So yeah, I'm literally I'm digressing from golf here, mate, from footballing.
No, it's
I
fine,
think
mate. It's fine for you.
it was an easy decision. So
Yeah.
anyway, this guy had to have his leg amputated. So my point was, for me, once I had that frame on my leg, it was 7 months later, it then came off. So it's done its job, it's done its trick, and it was amazing what it done. It effectively straightened the leg. You then lock the numbers off,
Yeah.
and then they bones gelled together in a straight line. When I first done it, one of the bones grew out of line, so I then had to re-break my leg. I had to put a boot on for 6 months, knowing I had to have an operation for my leg to then be rebroken again. And now I had this frame on and blah, 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 blah. But now I'm back. I've got a lump on my leg, scars. I run a lot. I ran 600 miles last year. And
Wow.
it's fine. So we get a few tweaks in the winter, a bit of pins and needles. But yeah, no more football, mate. No more football.
No.
Golf. It's a golf.
No. Sounds like the right decision.
I know my mum would be happy about that anyway, because I knew this was going to happen. You know, mum's no best. I knew that was going to happen. He didn't. I knew it was going to happen. I was waiting for that phone call, and that Sunday morning, he's broke his leg again. And yeah, I broke my leg again. So
I think as men and boys, naturally, you do rush back to things too quickly as well. Like after injury, like I've knackered my knees playing rugby, and the third time my knee went is because I basically was either not listening to physios, but I was like, no, well, it feels fine to me. I was like, I'm sure I'll be able to go play. And literally, like 2 tackles in, I'm like, no, I can't walk.
And then you're out for 6 months again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I'm on crutches. And I think it's not worth any of this, is it? In the grand scheme of things.
No, it's not. And I think golf is. I'd like to think it's a relatively, I say, safe sport, because I've been hit by a golf ball before many moons ago. But it's compared to football and contact sports, it's obviously
safer. Yeah, I think so. Sounds best. Lovely. Right, Marv, on to hole 4. So the bag and the brain. If we had your bag in front of us right now, what's the one club or bit of kit that you can't live without while playing?
That's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm going to say the obvious, I think, and go my driver. I'm going to go my driver because I can get the ball down. Like I say, I'm not a massive bomber, but I'm generally get the ball in play.
Pretty consistent off the tee then.
Back to what I was saying earlier, considering how often I play, I'm relatively consistent. Sometimes my ball striking with irons would go, or my short game would go. You'd lose that little bit of touch, but you're not playing. My putting we've spoke about, that's just always been pretty dire. I'm relatively confident that if I get the ball down there, sometimes I've got not a bit of a push that can go out to the right, but I need to work on that. I know I kind of sometimes come over the top with my swing, but generally I'm relatively confident that I will get the ball down there. And once you've got that ball down, it's in play, kind of half the battle, I guess. So I'd say it's a pretty obvious answer. I was trying to think of something that's a little bit dynamic, but no, I think the driver will be my go-to. It's definitely not my putter.
No. Well, to be honest, you say it's an obvious answer. You're the first one so far to say driver, Marv. So there you go. Yeah. So we've had a couple of people who've said putter, a couple who have said like GPS and tech like tags or watches and what have you. So yeah, you're the very first driver. Is it something that you've always actively worked on, or is it just you've always just been like, some people are just quite natural with the driver, aren't they? But is it something that you've worked hard to get that fairway finder shot sort of in your bag?
I think so. It's like what I said earlier, Sam. It's without sounding like living cocky. I've always been relatively good at sport, and my eye-to-hand coordination's always been good. And I'll watch stuff on the telly, and then I'll just take that and mimic it. I don't really go to the range much. I don't really. I'm kind of one of these people that annoyingly don't really need to. I do need to practice, but I know that if I didn't, I can still go out there and shoot a half decent score.
Yeah.
And the driver's always been. I've always, like I say, I went from a real big slice, having a big open face, and I now know how to adjust my shoulders. And there's times where you can overthink that, and I do still need a bit of work, but the amount of time that I do play doesn't really. I know that I can still go out there and shoot a half decent score without needing to put that work in. But if we are talking specifically golf and time isn't the issue and getting out and playing, I think we all need to work on it, but I do definitely need to work. I do need to work on my driver. I need to work on my concept with my irons. My short game ball needs work, and my putting 100% needs work. But that's just
Yeah,
really kind of fine tuning. It's but if I was to get out on that course, and like I say, I can go out and shoot a pretty decent score with what's always been in my natural ability, if that makes sense.
yeah,
Without
yeah, yeah.
sounding being big headed. I'm not big. I don't want to
No,
come across as being like I'm big headed, because there's a million players out there that would absolutely annihilate me on a golf course. But that's what I'm trying to say. For
yeah,
the amount that I play, for my score, like playing off of 11, for the amount that I play, I'm quite happy with that. It's pretty decent golf, playing once a month at best.
yeah, yeah. Some people just have that natural ability, Bob. It's nothing to do about being big headed. Like I'll see other people at the range where I'll watch them duff 5, 6 iron shots, and you just think, oh, that's just someone
Yeah.
having a go. Then they pull a driver out and they're pinging off the back fence just because that part of
It
the
works.
swing just happens to that particular movement just works for them. It just works for their body. But I mean, you made a really good point there as well. Like you say, you have a bit of a push or used to be a bit of a slice, but knowing your miss as
Exactly.
well is such a massive part of playing
Yeah,
into your
absolutely.
game.
Because what you find then with I say just because I am an amateur, so I've learned it's generally when you get to about the 17th and 18th hole, and you'll nail one down the middle and go, I know what I'm doing wrong now.
Yeah,
But for the years and years and years that I've played golf, I get to the first tee and I pretty much know my setup. If it's going out to the right, I know that I need to slightly just address my grip, or I'm not
yeah,
on my shoulders not dipped down. So I will try and kind of rework that earlier on in the round, as opposed to hitting that one down. We've all done it down the upper and like,
yeah,
where's that come from? Well, I'm not
yeah,
swinging any different to what I've just done in the last 17 holes. And that's the thing with the game, like the mental side of it. It's just bonkers. You
yeah,
slice, get to the 18th, wallop, 250 yards, straight down the middle. What have you just done? Not a clue. But I do
yeah.
know my swing, and I do know how I to adjust it slightly. It's and with this game, as you well know, mate, it can be just fractions.
Yeah, yeah. It's the smallest margins make such a difference, don't they? It's also like where you're aiming as well. Like if like I had a pretty bad slice historically. I've worked in it a lot now. It's not too bad, but I would still get up on the first tee and I would be aiming bang down the middle of the fairway. And my mate's looking at me. He's like, "You're going to end up in those trees." He's like, "What's the point?" He's like, "Just aim 20 yards left. If it slices, it slices. You might still catch somewhere on the right, but at least you're not a mile off into the bushes somewhere from the start and the
Yeah, I think
lost
you're
ball."
right. I think sometimes the alignment is it's really important. It's time I might be aligning
Yeah,
up, and then someone will notice, be like, "Stop, put the alignment stick down, look at it, and go, what is that?" No, well, that's aligning, but
yeah, yeah,
your brain's going. So I've just learned just simple little tips like when you're going along. If you're playing like a par three, for example, I never look at the flag. I look,
no,
I put my tee in the ground, but I'll put it behind something that's naturally there, like a divot, or there might be a tee in front of it,
yeah,
and that's my alignment. That flag is never going to move. So if I can align
no,
myself up with something that's 3 foot in front of me, I know then that line, that is completely aligned to my target. Where everything up to
yeah,
that, and yet again, I think that's just years and years of playing, knowing people look up, they look at the flag, they look at the flag. Well, I'm like, well, why look at the flag? That's never going to move.
yeah,
Look at something that's standing in front of you. And don't get me wrong, I'm no coach or anything, but it's just for me it's fundamental. It's just like, well, if I get that leaf is in line with the flag, as long as the leaf don't
yeah,
move, well, the flag's not moving, is it? So I might as well just align myself up here and don't worry about the flag. Just do this bit right,
no.
swing away.
Also, how confident can you be with perfectly aiming up to something 180 plus
Yeah,
yards away? Okay, Marv. On to hole 5. So we spoke about this a little bit already, but practice versus real life. How often are you actually getting out there to practice, or is very much your playing just practice at the moment?
yeah, pretty much. Don't. I guess in the yet again, it's the winter. I don't mind going out in the winter. I used to play. Remember when I was
Yeah,
kids, I'd go out in the wind, the rain, the mud, walking up the 12 at Lullington and wondering what the hell am I doing? Playing in the winter league, but now I just don't do. It. I just don't have the time to do it. So I'm kind of I don't want to sound my feather because I did play the other week with we
yeah,
spoke briefly on air with the Stuck in the Soundtrack boys, and that was lovely just to get out and the sun came out and it was
yeah,
beautiful. So I don't mind playing in the winter, but I don't play it regularly now. So it's now and again I'll pop out to the driving range, but it's just not often at all, mate. I should do it a lot more, but with 3 kids and life goes on, it's difficult to do that. I think when I think when the summer kicks in, I'll probably find that I will do that a bit more once I get into it a bit more. I used to,
Yeah.
me and a couple of mates on a Monday night, we used to play, or we still do it a little, you'll know it, or you might not know it. It's a little golf course called Corinthians.
Oh, I know Corinthians. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know
Absolutely
that.
stunning, mate. Like for a 9-hole on a Monday night in the summer for 12 quid, you cannot beat
Yeah.
it. We'd walk up there. There's one, um, there's a guy out on his tractor, one greenkeeper, and
Yeah.
it's in the summer. It's in great condition. I don't really want this to go live this bit because I don't want people going there. But for the money and for a little 9-hole golf course, it's got water. It's a par 4, par 3. It's absolutely perfect. So we used to try and get out there
Yeah.
on a Monday night. So I don't have the kids on a Monday night. So we try and play in the summer on a Monday night. Get out there at 6 o'clock. Done in a couple of hours, 9 holes. So that would become a lot more
Y-
regular, and you're playing a lot more and a lot more. And that's a little hidden gem that is. So feel free to delete this bit out, or just beep over that bit.
I'll beep it. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
beep it.
I'm
Yeah.
saying again, it's Corinthians. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
lovely little
No.
hidden gem that is.
Yeah, you can play it as an 18 as well. I think they've got two different
I'm
tees.
not a fan of it.
No, no, it works well as a 9. I can see why they've done it to try and
Absolutely.
squeeze in 18
Yeah.
because there's quite a few little courses around there. But yeah, I think Hidden Gem's absolutely right. But so by the time we do get around to summer, what sort of, I mean, do you actually have a bit of a structure to how you like to practice, or is it very much you'll just go for just to love the
Pretty
cobwebs?
much. Because like I
Yeah,
say, I'm relatively steady on a golf course, so I know what I can do. I know what my bad parts are. So as the summer kicks in, I'll probably find that I'll go down the range a bit more often. My boys will
yeah,
probably come with me, and my daughter. We hit a few balls, and I'll just literally just go through the bag. I'm not one of these guys that goes down there and just gets 50 balls and just smashes a driver in 20 minutes, comes home and wonders why he's got blisters on his fingers. It's just
yeah,
I'm not worried about my surroundings. I'll start with my 58 and just have a little dink, little dink, little dink, and just work my way up, and then get myself to my driver, and then just hit a few drives down there, and just to loosen the shoulders. Just say, right, listen,
yeah,
maybe get a mirror in the background and that's on some of the ranges, and just see what my backswing's doing. I did go. So my cousin I was talking about earlier, he's got a place called Body Swing Solution. They're based in Hertfordshire, so
okay,
they've got a couple of trackmen, they've got a couple of gym guys. So they do a lot of uh, gym work, then get you straight into the trackman, a lot of speed sticks, and see how you can gain 10, 20 yards within that space of half hour working,
yeah,
which is really, really good. And for the first time ever last year, talking about clubs earlier, I treated myself. I've got lots of clubs here, there, and everywhere. I've sold all my old sets on Marketplace, got a little bit of money together, and I treated myself to a set that were made to measure, fit to me. So
oh
they're
nice,
sponsored by Mizuno down there. So I went down there, I had the whole club fitting done the whole lot. I bought myself a set of 25 Hot Pro Mizuno's, a Hot Pro. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head, but I've had them done. I've had them angled to my swing, grips that I
yeah,
want on them, of the shaft that I've got on them, and the heads that I've got on them. And I just treat myself and paid X amount for a whole new set, a brand new bag.
oh lovely,
It was worth every penny. It was one of them ones where he just said, "Look, Marv, once you've done this, you'll never have to change your golf clubs ever again." And I've never done it in my whole golfing career. I've never bought myself a brand new set on for you. So
no,
back in the day, American Golf used to use like a used club section, which was amazing. But I
yeah,
think they might have gotten stuck with that. I don't think they made money. I remember going there once, and there was a set of, it was either Mizuno MP30s or a set of TP 10 Titleist TP something, and I think I'd had a set previously. Let's say they were the MP30s. Beautiful basic clubs. I haven't even played with Mizuno irons or Titleist irons. I love Mizuno. Absolutely love Mizuno irons.
mm.
And they had these MP30s. And I think they were 100 and, I'll tell you what, I'll tell you the story. They were 150 quid in the sale, and they were only 2 years old. They were like 1,500 quid new, these clubs. They had a couple little marks on
Bloody
it.
hell.
And I looked at them and was like, are they in the sale? He said, yeah, 150 quid. He said, we're about to knock them down to 90 quid. I was like, what? It was my birthday the week before. I was like, you take vouchers? I was like, yeah. I said, do you want to hit one? So I went out the back. I got this eight on my kid's life. I got this 8 iron. I hit this 8 iron straight as I die. I was like, I'll have them. You take out? Yeah. I said, there's £100 voucher. Keep the change. 100 quid for these irons. And there's a couple little nicks on them. Literally
Yeah,
2 or 3 years prior to that, they were 1,500 quid brand new. And I had him for
It's insane,
150.
isn't
I
it?
got them for 100 quid or 90 quid effectively. For a birthday batch,
Yeah.
I paid 100 quid. And they were just, I had them for years. And I've never, so I kind of got to that point as I was getting older. I was like, do you know what? If I couldn't really afford it, but I was like, just do it. Just treat yourself. I had a bit of money there. I had a good month. I was like, let me just treat myself and get myself in clubs. And I have. And I'm glad I've done it because I've only played maybe 10 rounds of golf with them. Still
Yeah.
new for me. They still feel weird to what I've ever been used to. So yeah, again, I'm still working on the irons as well, but
Mm.
they are lovely, and I know that they are made for my height, my size, and my skills.
Yeah. Is absolutely invaluable, isn't it? Getting custom fit, because, you know, I think people who walk in and buy something off the shelf, okay, there is a certain price point attached
Yes,
to it, but every brand, manufacturer, shaft manufacturer, club manufacturer, there is no standard. There is no standard measurement for a 7-iron. Every single 7-iron across a different brand will be a half or a quarter or
based
something
on
inch,
outputs.
completely. Yeah, it'll all be completely different. So if you have a set of pings and you think, right, I'm going to go and get some Titleist, and then you wonder why that 7-iron isn't
Yeah,
swing the same, it's because they're completely different makeups.
absolutely.
It does cost a little bit more money, and I think it's worth getting fit. Even if you don't buy the club through the fitter, you can at least then take away those
Absolutely.
measurements and go and find a second-hand, reseller like Golf Clubs for Cash or
Just,
Golf Bidder,
yeah,
or
yeah,
spend a few hours on eBay. But getting those measurements, it will just change your
yeah,
game
I agree.
completely.
I agree. It's worth every penny as well, and it can be costly, but there are ways that you can kind of cut bits
Yeah,
out and kind of maybe don't pay as much for a wedge, for example. Or I think the important bit is, like we said in it earlier, is, and I think, and I know part of it is that I think the putter is probably the most important club in the bag. I really do. And
yeah,
it's,
yeah,
I've just bought myself an even roll, not new, it was second hand eBay, it was like 190 quid. And that's a lot of money for me to buy a golf club. But it was just like, well, it's worth
yeah,
every penny because it just feels right. It's lovely to putt, but I'm still missing from 3 foot, mate. So
yeah. Yeah, there's that. But you'd probably easily spend it on a driver though, wouldn't you? And which one's going to cost you more shots
yeah,
in
absolutely. And again,
at the
I'm
end of the
quite lucky
scorecard?
with the clubs as well because the boys, like my cousin that owns the place down at Hertfordshire, because I'm a creative by trade, throughout the year I do a bit of marketing for them. Well,
Oh, okay,
mailers,
yeah, yeah,
some leaflets. They might drop me an email, say, "Look, Mark, we've got an event coming up. Can you just do some artwork to put in an email?" And I'll do all that for free for them. But
yeah,
what I get in return, if I ever go down there to see him, I'll get like a stack of golf balls, top of the range golf balls or some tailor-mades. And then, like, Mark,
yeah,
there's a golf club come up, someone's dropped in, they don't want to use it anymore. It's X amount. Do you want it for X amount? And so there's always, and they'll always look after me and little perks, and we just each other's back.
yeah,
So I've never really had to spend loads and loads and loads of money on, other than, like I say, recently, where he did do me a deal, but it still cost me quite a lot of money because
yeah,
they've got their overheads, etc. and stuff. So I kind of got a nice Mizuno
yeah,
bag, a nice new set of irons, and it goes nicely with the bag that I won with golf with Kate a few months ago. And I spoke to her today actually, and
yes,
that was quite a pivotal point for me on Instagram. To win that,
mm.
I woke up and I was like, I won a bag. I did have my glasses on. Yeah,
double
so I won
checking.
this bag through via I think it was Caddy Club, who I talk to now and again, are great guys. And the golf bag's just stunning. They got my logo put into it and my name in it.
Beautiful,
I
aren't
haven't even
they?
used it yet. It's sitting in the hallway and I'm just too
No,
scared to use it. Yep, I'm waiting for the summer. I don't want to get it dirty, so I use my Mizuno bag that I spent all that money on. I'm just keeping this nice grey one, and it's beautiful. And that was a real pivotal point for me actually. And I messaged Kate actually just yesterday to say, look, thanks for that. I do post that bag up now and again, and she was like, look, I'm just so happy you won it. I said it was a real pivotal point because it was the real start of my Instagram journey, and even
yeah,
then she said to me, "You do realise that you are causing a few ripples here and there in the golfing world," which I still struggle to believe. And she said, "You are." She said, "Just keep doing what you're doing." And that was quite
mm.
nice to hear from someone that's been in that. And I don't like stepping on people's toes. And I know people that have been in the Instagram golfing world for a long, long time. And my intention isn't to tread on people's toes at all. Like I said at the
No,
beginning, it's just not golf that I'm going to. I'm going down the paddle market. Or if that works, what my bigger picture is, and I haven't told anyone this, and we can put that out there. My bigger picture is that at some point in the next few weeks, I need to change my bio to a link tree. And then
yes,
what I
yeah,
want to have, the bigger picture is to have a golf section, a paddle section, a running section,
hmm
a cycling section. And all within then, there's a few discount codes. not because I get
Yeah,
like the odd kickback and stuff like that. No, it's purely because people can go there and go, right, Marv's got this shot scope. I get X amount. SRV gloves. I get this.
yeah,
Caddy Couture. With socks, new golf. I've got loads of stuff
yeah,
in
yeah,
it. I still haven't even done videos and stuff on. It's just because what I think I've learned, and we'll hit on it in a minute, is that what's happened to me over the last 7 years, it's took me a long time to realize to turn the negative that's happened to me and turn it into a positive story, and then use that positive story to drive me forward. And that's what I'm
yeah,
doing.
absolutely. Yeah, fantastic. Like I say, we'll get onto the
Yes.
personal side behind it, Marv, in a minute. But just finishing on the golf. So if we had, what's your hole 6 blow up holes? What's the worst?
Ju-
Reveal the trade secrets, Marv.
I
How
don't
bad is it?
think. I think Yeah, again, it's going to sound like I'm being big-headed to say that I don't have many blow-up holes. I mean, a blow-up hole for me is like a double bogey.
Okay.
Once in a blue moon, there might be a snowman on the scorecard, but that is very rare. I think I tell you what. Now the cogs are turning. I don't think I've got a blow-up hole, but I do have a blow-up moment when I was in a singles competition. I was 3 up, 4 to play, or was I 4 up with 3 to play? Let's go 3 up with 3.
Yeah, I think that makes
Yeah,
more
and
sense there.
I lost on the 18th. I missed a two
Oh,
foot putt on 2 holes and back to putting. So and I remember to the day I was playing a guy called Colin Dow at Lullington. I was 3 up with 4 to play in a singles competition for me to get through to the semi final. I think I had it in the bag on 15. It was
yeah,
almost going to shake my hand. Lost the next hole. Lost the next hole. Lost. Missed. I had a 2 foot putt on 17. I could see it now. I had a 2 foot putt on 17 to win the match. Missed the putt. Went up. Lost the 18th. Done. So it can royally kick you in the gonads, golf. I don't think I've got like a
yeah.
specific blow up hole, but that is quite a specific blow up moment for me.
No, I get that. Do you think it was that pressure on teeing off on 16 that you think if I win this hole, that's it, it's done,
Because
game over?
I've never known a game that's like I say, I know a lot about like the mental side of stuff, but I've never known a game that's just so mentally taxing. And
Yeah,
I've learned it again. I've learned over the years how to just try and switch off. And sometimes I'm not a good drawer of the ball, but I now try if I can draw if there's a hole on a particular course that I know I can get a slight draw on it, I just visualize that hole, no matter what hole I'm
yeah,
playing, because I know if I can do it on that one, well, I can just do it again.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, that's it really. It's just I think going back to what you were saying that blow up, it wasn't really a blow up hole. It was just a massive blow up moment in a competition in a
yeah,
semi final. A chance of getting my name on a board in the clubhouse that stoops in history, and the pressure gets to you, doesn't it? It's just you then start thinking, oh, this is it, I've got it in the bag. Golf, golf,
yeah,
golf, like any sport, really, like any sport, it can royally kick you in the proverbials without you realising it, and then goes, and then
yeah,
that momentum, you lose that momentum, and the other person gets it. You see that driving and pardon the punt, and all of a sudden, bang, they one down the middle. You then start overthinking, and all of a sudden, your game can go on one hole, and you've lost the match. That's frustrating.
yeah. Where's your head at after you miss that 2 foot putt? Is it
Oh, it used
oh well, or is it mental
it
implosion?
used to be it used to be a lot of effing and blinding, a lot of really, really,
Yeah,
really beating myself up.
yeah,
But I've now learnt that, especially in life as well, that we'll touch on. But once that's gone, well, there's nothing I can do about it. So why do I then try
no,
and muck up the next hole? You're gonna have to try.
yeah,
It's very difficult. It is challenging, and it's like at any level in sport, it's very difficult to refocus, reset, go again. That's probably why the best golfers in the
mm,
world are the best golfers in the world. They know
yeah.
they block all their surroundings.
It just detach themselves from it
And that's
completely,
that's
don't
an
they?
art form, mate. It's an art form to do that.
Yeah,
Just to completely cut yourself off from all of it. Turn up the 18th at the Masters or the Open, and if you win this hole, you birdie or you par it, you've won it. My
yeah,
brain, I get sweaty palms just talking about it. I ain't gonna do it. Do you know what I mean? It's just, but they deal with it's years and years and years and years and years and years of practice and being out there and just throwing them out there and putting them in the deep end and getting it.
yeah.
And then you learn how to deal with that. Then I think,
If you look at like the Ryder Cup this year, if you're Shane Lowry on that last hole on the last day,
mate,
I don't know how he just stood up and putted that so
I would have
quickly.
all day long. I would have done that with my putting skills. That's the theme of this conversation, mate. Forget being the right of the club. If that was me and you playing for a 5-1, miss, it's just, but like I say, mate, it's just a different DNA. But it's a
Yeah,
different DNA to you and I because it's just been grounded into them from day one. It's all they know. It's how they know how to deal with it. They own
Yeah.
millions. They have a completely different lifestyle. They get flown here, they get flown there, they get stuff built for them, they bought for them, this and that. It's another lifestyle, mate. But it never used to be.
Yeah. No, no, no,
They've
no.
been brought into that family world, into that family golf life, or that family world, and that golf life, and that golf world, and away they go. And then it's just that's it. And then they look at the swing, go at the age of 6. Yeah, you can play golf. You can sit that young. They
Yeah.
come out of the womb with a golf club in their hand, mate, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah. It is getting like that. You see some of the guys come through like the American collegiate system, and they look like children, but they're bowling it 320
I
yards
used
down
to
the
play with
fairway.
11-year-olds at 11 at Lully that were playing off +3. Just no, but there's
Yeah.
just no fear. They just say,
No.
"Wallop gone. Oh, okay, I'm sitting there, right, grip this, grip that, shoulder lead, that. Away you go." They're not. They're just sitting it natural
Yeah.
swing. See you later. Little chat with
Yeah.
their like 11-year-olds, mate. I'm like, what am I doing? Competing with an
Yeah.
11-year-old who's playing a +4. I mean, what? How does that happen?
Makes you not even want
And
to
then
start,
then
doesn't
they
it?
struggle to get
What's the
on the
point?
tour, and they then struggle to get into competitions and stuff. It's just it's crazy. You've got to be the elite of the elite, or you've just got to have that so lucky to get that lucky break to get into any
Yeah.
sport. I think at a high level,
Yeah, I
you
think so.
just need to have
Yeah.
that. I think you need to have something, but you also need to have that bit of that lucky break. I keep saying lucky break. There's a theme here, parting and broken legs, mate.
Yeah. Lovely stuff. Right. Hole 7. So life off the course, the person behind the golfer. So away from golf, what does life look like for you right now?
It's right as we speak. I feel okay. I feel all right. Um, it's been a tough 7 years, 6 or 7 years. We'll talk briefly. I won't go into kind of too many detail.
Talk as much
Yeah,
as you
I
want to,
know.
mate. Honestly.
As you know, we both met up with Danny at Florio. Kind of what we're doing,
Yeah.
and a real lovely guy. And I've got his video coming out at the end of the month as well, which I'll put out and post that out there, which gets quite personal. And so I'll try and kind of hold the emotions in because I am in mentally a really good place. So in a nutshell, and like the
That's
short
good.
of it is that my ex-wife left me 6 years ago, 7 years ago. We have 3 beautiful children that I adore, and we now have a great relationship. We did have a great relationship, by we just fizzled apart. We had 3,
Yeah.
so I've got an 11, 13, and 15-year-old tomorrow, and enough was enough. She was done, and we fell apart and we broke up. Then at the end of 2019, I'm then back at my parents because I didn't know where to go, and ironically, I'm still here now. And I'm literally 10 doors up the road from my old beautiful family home that overlooks a meadow, etc., etc. But that's what it is. Then at the end of 2019, I then lost my job, and then
Okay.
2020 hit, and then I got another job. I was going to learn to be an animator. That then fell through because COVID hit. For 6 months, I
Yeah.
couldn't even cuddle my kids because I was with nanny and
No.
granddad, and it all went a bit crazy with that.
It was a horrible, horrible
It was
time, wasn't it? It's
was
just, it's
it
yeah,
it
it's
yeah, I've got my views on that, but I'll probably keep them to myself. But I'd done it based on what I was being told, and I didn't want my parents to become ill. So
yeah,
that was tough. That was mentally challenging. I then had anxiety, depression, went to therapy clubs and therapy courses. I went to Mind. Then a year later, me and my youngest boy were attacked by an American bulldog, and I had
jeez,
half my face ripped off. Here, I got
oh god,
bitten here, and I got bitten just above my jugular, and I lost a lot of blood. Um,
yeah,
and that was hard. Like that for that to happen in front of my ex-wife and my kids, and it was at my boys' football. I don't really like talking about the dog attack match because that literally gives me sweaty palms. It a lot of anxiety. The dog was on a pole. My little boy went to say hello to it. Before I knew it, he was being pulled down. He got pulled by the arm, pulled down. Thankfully, he rolled away. I stripped
yeah,
him off. He's absolutely fine. He ran off. I then shouted out to my little boy, "Look, Daddy's going to show you that dogs are okay." I turned around and looked at the dog. I was on my knees at eye level with this dog. And I just looked at it, looked away. I looked back, and it just shredded me, mate. Absolutely ripped me to bits. So I literally had a hole in my face. So it ripped all the way down here,
jeez,
and then it pulled me back, and it locked its jaw in my face, and I pulled away. And I don't know what happened. I looked round. I remember seeing my ex-wife being hysterical and screaming. I remember, it'll go to my grave. I remember seeing 10 or 12 parents standing on the football pitch, and they all looked round. And as I stood up, I knew I was
yeah,
in trouble. And then I collapsed. And then I woke up a bit later. Someone had put a strap around my head, and there was just claret everywhere. There was a guy that held
Yeah.
my hands. Anyway, long and short of it is, these were awful. The dog owner got fined 500 quid, and that dog is still walking the street without a muzzle. Pains me to say that, but that's over to
Yeah.
a police. That is nothing to do with me. I then got sent
No.
to a couple of hospitals. They then referred me straight to where did I go? I went to King's. They sent me to I think they're called a Max vaccine. They're specialised in plastic surgery.
Yeah.
And I remember laying there. This little lady came out, and it was, "Oh, I've seen some attacks in my time, but can you remember what happened?" So, okay, that's interesting. And I laid there, and she said, "I don't want to kind of put words in your mouth, but I know I can see from your injuries exactly what's happened." And I laid there, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Have I been attacked twice?" And she was like, "100%." She said, You could see
Mm.
there's like 3 claw marks here, and then a bite mark and a bite mark." She said, and then I remembered it all. I said, "It's clawed me and then tried to bite me." She said, "Is that what's happened?" So I then had to have 12 injections in my face, which was not fun. And then
Wow.
38 stitches and 2 black eyes because of the ferociousness and the power of it.
Yeah.
Then it was a bit of a struggle after that. I couldn't sleep for quite a few weeks. I kept laying there and seeing my little boy with his stomach hanging out. It did happen, but
Yeah.
again, the
No.
mind does wonderful things. So that was kind of the tip of the iceberg for me, really. It was like after going through a marriage breakup and stuff like that, and hence it's the place in Spain. Right now, mentally, I'm in an okay place. I have the odd bad day, but I think we
Yeah.
all do. I
Yeah.
don't have anxiety anymore. I don't have depression anymore. I've done the right thing. I went to men's mental health clubs. I went to groups. I went to the doctors. They put me on tablets because my brain and my serotonin levels couldn't handle a marriage breakup, a job loss, and nearly dying in a space of a short space of time and just going, "But what the hell is happening here?"
No.
And listening to my parents crying of an evening because they couldn't help their son for the first time in their life. They met each other when they was 11. They're now 80. So there was no answers. So I had to
Yeah.
do it on my own. And I did. And I've got great family and a brother around me. And I've just got the best mates. To this
Yeah.
day, I don't know where I would be without my mates.
No.
Really don't,
No.
mate. I honestly, on my kids' lives, my mates have been my rock, mate. They would take forms off of me to fill in and just do it all. My head was in my arse. I didn't know where I was. I wasn't sleeping. I was waking up in pools of sweat. I was looking out the curtain and seeing where they were going and watching them go on to doing the school runs and going off on their own. And I just felt disconnected for a little while, and then your mind starts to overtake. I'm never going to see my kids again. She's going to learn. She's going to take
Yeah.
them away from me. That was never going to happen. And I have a great relationship with my ex-wife, which I'm super proud of. I'm super proud of both of us because
Yeah.
one thing that we are is good parents to our kids. And that is
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so important to me. We got to the point where it was a little bit raucous initially and mediation and stuff like that. And it was just like, look, let's forget everything. But we've got 2 options. We be horrible to each other for the rest of our lives and our children get affected, or
Yeah.
we're done. I want the latter.
No.
I don't want our kids to grow up knowing that mummy and daddy used to bicker and we used to do this and that, and because that potentially could have happened.
Yeah, and that's the memories they hold on to, isn't it? Unfortunately, if that is the case, and then you don't want them almost having a subconscious bias that as they get
No, mate,
older, whether they know it or not, or misinterpret it, or
absolutely.
memory can be a funny thing when they're so young as
Absolutely,
well.
mate. And I've never, to this day, mate, I've never put out a line. We've had our moments, but I would never, ever badmouth my ex-wife, their mum, to the kids, and then they take that home with them. I've never done. I never will.
Yeah, no,
Never in a million years. Chicken wish once,
no,
but I'd
and
like to think it's the same. I'm a good dad, and I forgot that I was a good dad for 2 or 3 years. And it took me a while for my mates to say, "Look, you're a better dad than most dads that are actually at home, mate." So I have 'em at
yeah,
every other weekends. I have one of them on a Wednesday. They're all sport mad. I take them to their clubs. I have a Monday and Thursday to myself, and it took me a long time to realise that they don't have to be with me 24/7. Yeah, okay.
yeah,
But when I was a stay-at-home dad for a little while, so to have that taken away and all gone was really hard for me to deal with. And naturally, I don't care what anyone says, naturally, that was difficult to deal with. But I
yeah,
can have this conversation with you now and not cry. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? And not a few years ago, I did have a cry with Dan at Florio because we were talking about the kids a lot, and I'm trying not to talk about the kids too much because everything I do, I wake up every morning now and I say to myself, "What have I got? I
yeah,
have a roof over my head, It's not ideal. It's my parents, but it's a roof over my head, and I have a great relationship with them. I have 3 beautiful children, and hopefully have my health.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep myself fit for my age, hence the place in Spain with the money that I got from my marriage breakup, 6 figures in the bank. Not a massive 6 figures, but 6 figures. But where I live in London, it's not enough to buy a one-bedroom flat, mate.
No, I get that, mate.
Get Up and Go Rentals was born,
Yeah.
and that's where it stems from, effectively. It's not, "Oh, look at Marv, he's got a place in Spain, check him out, he's doing all right." It's far from it, mate, through,
No.
a tough time. But yet again, it's not, I don't want this just to be about me, because I know that we are talking about me. Everyone has their own stories. I know for a fact you've got your
Yeah.
own story. I know for everyone
Yeah.
I've talked to have their own stories, so I don't want people feeling sorry for me. I have had a tough time, but and I've effectively I've almost been grieving, but I haven't effectively lost someone, if that makes sense. I have that deep conversations
No.
verbally about that, and it's sometimes that's almost harder to deal with actually losing someone in a way. Do you know what I mean? It's what I did have. When I look at that house, there's memories there. So many years
Yeah,
I
of
was
course.
going
Yeah.
down there, coming back home, and just crying myself up the street because I knew that's gone. But now I shut that door, I take a deep breath. I know my kids are fine. I know they've got a great mother, and I know they've got a bloody good dad. And that's
Yeah.
the important bits.
They're the big
Yeah,
ticks, aren't
some
they?
people don't get that.
Yeah.
To the degree that
No.
a couple of years ago, my eldest boy's football team still thought that me and my ex-wife were still living together and we're married. And they were
Oh,
like, "What? Yeah, we haven't been together for 6 years now. What are you talking about?" So that's testament, and I'm proud to say that. She can say what she wants, but I think that's testament to me and her. So if people like that think that we're still together, then my kids must be okay. Must
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's the most important part, isn't it? At the
I
end of
don't
the day,
get
Marv. As not.
we have birthdays together, we have a joint calendar, we have Christmases together, and there's always space at that table. And I'll
Yeah.
never feel unwelcome. I mean, do I want to spend Christmas Day with my ex-wife, my ex-in-laws? Probably not, if I'm being realistic. But do I want to spend Christmas Day with my kids and they can see that they're sitting there with mummy and daddy? Yes, I do.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what matters,
Please,
isn't
mate.
it? Brilliant. Thanks for being so honest there. I appreciate it. It's not always the easiest of
No,
things to talk about, and especially going over
it's
history as
fine.
well.
Absolutely fine. It's been
Thank
tough,
you, mate.
but like I say, I'm literally smiling. What could have
There you go.
disfigured me, mate?
There you go.
Um,
Yeah, that's the amazing thing, isn't it? And like I say, to be in a good mental place now, everyone has their ups and downs, and I think more people maybe need to admit that from time to time. But to sit here and say, like, when people ask me, I'll actually sit and have a good think about it sometimes. I think, you know what, actually, I am doing okay today. Don't always have a most perfect morning or perfect evening or whatever else. And, sometimes the stresses of work or whatever. To sit here compared to, where I was maybe mentally 3 or 4 years ago and say, you know what, I'm actually having a pretty good
That's
day
good.
today. I think they're the most important things to
Absolutely.
do, I
That's
think.
really interesting because, like I say, I'm quite an advocate for this, like, say it lads. And a friend of mine,
Yes.
he's got a company called We Talk Club, and they
Yep.
have a real simple philosophy that how you feel. I'm only saying this based on what you just said. They literally say, "How are you feeling out of 10 today?" Well, I was on naught for a long time.
Yeah.
So their view is, well, if you're on naught, we can't get you to 10 straight away, but how can we get you to 1?
No.
And that 1 then becomes a 2. 2 might you go
Yeah.
back to a
Yeah.
1, but eventually you're like, "Do you know what? I feel like a 6 today." Does, and I
Yeah.
think it's like me doing like the men's mental health side of stuff. It's because I've been there, and we've all been there, and I've got a story to tell. And I think if I can help one person, that's why I do the We Say It Loud. We Say It Loud. I'm combining the 2 companies there. That's why I do the Say It Loud, because I think it's a great idea they've got. It's just you can speak anonymously. It's all on WhatsApp, and it's a great
Yeah.
idea. If I put my story on there. Same as what I just told you there. Me doing this merch and wearing a jumper and doing a post on Instagram once a month saves one person's life or gets them to call in and talks to them, I'm a happy
Yeah.
man. I've just recently, I sponsored Wakey the Caddy,
Yeah.
and he got in contact with me via Say It Lads. I put a post up and he messaged me and we got
Oh,
that
okay.
kind of.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's where the connection came from. But it's like, well, that's how me and you first came to talk, because I put my story out on Instagram or TikTok, whichever one it was, and you just put a comment saying I've dropped you a DM, and I remember opening up this message where, like we just spoke about, you just spilled everything out and just explained how you'd been in the same headspace as
Yeah.
me. And I remember looking at it, I was like, I need to read this properly, and I need to properly go back to Marv
Yeah,
rather than just put a thumbs up or a heart or
yeah,
something like that. So I think I messaged you. I was like, I have seen this. I was like, I'm not
yep,
ignoring you. I'm on the road. I will
yep.
come
I
back
need
to
to
you
read this. It
ASAP.
is quite an intake and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, well done, mate."
No, but it's like, for me, when I first put my video out, I was like, I'm either just going to get so many messages just calling me a prick or whatever else, or, or nothing at all. But the influx of messages from yourself and others, it was just so reaffirming that because I think everyone feels very isolated when they go through these situations. You do feel like a one man island, and there are these amazing courses and therapists, and Say It Loud is such an amazing example of
Yeah.
what they do to spread the exposure that people are not alone
And you've
going
got
through
Boys
this.
Get Sad too as well.
And
There's the few of them which are
yeah,
brilliant as well. But right, I
yeah,
think I, when you're walking through treacle, you don't ever think you're going to get out of that treacle at that specific
no,
time. And I remember it vividly. I remember saying it. I ain't. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And I've got mates around me that are 10 years down the line being divorced and gone through it. And they're like, Marv, it will. I'm here. I've done it. It will get easier, mate.
yeah,
And I always beat myself up. Well, I don't have my own place. I don't know. And even like that. Well, yeah, but you do. You've got a place in Spain. It may not be the
yeah,
ideal situation, but you're making the best of the situation with the finances you got out of it, etc., etc. Actually, you could have just gone and blown 150 grand up the wall. Gone and bought yourself a new
yeah,
Porsche, blah, blah, blah. 6 years later, you've got nothing to show for it. Actually, what you have got to
no,
show for it, Marv, is you've got a place in Spain. You've got the potential of making a half decent business. And then I started thinking, get up and go, get up and golf, get up and paddle, get up and cycle. I'm like, actually, that
yeah,
works really well. So there's scope, but I'm also not naive. I mean, I'm not stupid. All I can do is my best, mate. And getting back to the whole kind of walking through treacle, you do get out of it. And as much as it's a cliche, with most things, time does heal.
yeah. You made a really good point about how it's not going from 0 to 10; it's going from 0 to 1. And there's this mantra of 1% better every day, and I think that's what people need to
100%.
take on board a little bit. It's not how quickly can I get to that 10. It's baby steps. It's because it's not a light switch. It doesn't flick on and everything's
No,
better.
it doesn't, especially depending on what you're going through. But some of it can be life changing stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
And
absolutely.
I've learned a lot. I wasn't a massive advocate for like mental health and men's mental health and this and that. It's nothing. But actually, when you kind of go through quite a traumatic ordeal, and you need help, and you have
Yeah,
conversations, and you speak to men's clubs, and you go to Mind and come out there thinking that's no good for me. You go back, and then a week later you're given a hug. I don't know what to do without you. So you know that your brain's here, there, and everywhere. I think it was just a lot to happen to me in a short space of time, which was the tough bit. And then friends then saying to me, "You need to go to the doctor, Sunshine." I was on
yeah, yeah.
antidepressants for maybe 2.5 years. But I also had that
Mm.
mindset then that I said to them that I don't want a huge dosage, like a huge milligram. I just want maybe like 10 or 20 milligrams because I don't want to not become addicted to it. I didn't want to rely on it for the rest of my life because I know
Yeah,
people that have been on them. So even with that, even going through that crap, my brain was still going. I don't want to go down that route and to rely
yeah,
on them for the rest of my life. So I knew I was still
yeah.
copus mentis. It was just like, right, actually, this is what I need. And the doctor's like, you need help. So I broke down at the doctors. I said,
Mm.
even then, I was like, look, I just don't want a massive dosage. And they were like, well, let's just do like 10 or 20 and we can just balance it out. And it helped. It just settled me down. Managed to get some sleep, stop the curtain twitching. And
Yeah,
it
yeah.
just slowly but surely got easier and easier. And like I say, we have it like it's my boy's birthday tomorrow. Um, so he wants to go in the RAF. I can say what we bought him now because he's not going to see this.
No, no, you're safe.
We bought him flying lessons. I've
That's
done a
amazing,
mailer
isn't it?
for her. She's gone. My ex has gone to print it out yesterday or today. I've done a mailer with his name. I've done like the name Phoenix and turned the X into a plane. And we bought him like a 2-hour flying lesson. And as parents, we're trying to do the best for him. He's from day one. He
Yeah,
wanted to go. He wants to go in the RAF. So we bought him flying lessons that we're going to do the weekend. My daughter's then got a gymnastics competition on Sunday. There goes my weekend. But what a lovely weekend. I believe my boy's
yeah.
15. I mean, I'm not the tallest, like 5'7". He's like 2 inches on me now. I'm just like, one hand on my shoulder. It's just blinking. It just goes so quick, mate.
It goes
It is.
terrifyingly
But
quick,
I'm a
doesn't it?
very, very
Yeah.
proud father, mate. I am. I'm doing now
Yeah.
is all for my kids. They keep me going without realizing it. We're not in an ideal situation, but we are making the situation that we're in as best we can. And if anything, I guess what I'm doing without even realizing it is teaching my kids family values. That even when
Yeah.
daddy is in trouble, me and granddad are there to help out. But some people
Yeah.
are not in that position. Some people are stuck in relationships. They're stuck in it because they don't have. I mean, it wasn't my choice to go to my mum and dad's and do it, but it's what's happened, and I've dealt with that. It's fine. But some people are in positions now where they want to get out of relationships, but they can't because they've got nowhere else to go. Find that in the world we live in now, it's just crazy.
They're stuck. A lot of people are just stuck,
And
aren't they?
so it's
Unfortunately.
almost like to a degree, it's going to be weird me saying this. It's almost like at some point I can almost thank my ex-wife for doing it when she did while the kids were younger, as opposed to
Yeah.
I know someone's going through a breakup now whose kids are my age now and going through GCSEs. Well, that
Mm.
will have a knock-on effect.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
done it, she done it at the time. Where it's just like, well, let's do it now. My mum and dad had just moved up the roads. I'm not going to be booted out in a gutter.
Mm.
To a
Yeah.
degree.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm smiling, mate. And jokes aside, it's like that's in the past, and I now talk about what's happened to me. Because it's just what's happened to me. I don't talk about it
Yeah.
selfishly and then not turn around and say to you, Sam, "How you doing, mate? You okay?" I just use and not
Yeah.
asking my mates how they were. They've been there for me from day one, mate. But we're
Yeah.
mates for a reason. Because if it happened to them, I'd be there for them. That's what I'm
Yeah.
about. And that's
Absolutely. Yeah.
the bit.
Yeah. And it's wonderful to have those sort of relationships where you know you can have that back and forth, even in like those really shit
Yes,
times,
mate,
isn't it?
absolutely. I've got, like I say, I have got really good friends around me, and I don't know where I'd be without 'em.
No, fantastic. Right, my whole eight. I mean, we have talked on this bit a lot. It's sort of incorporated in the last question a little bit, but we talk about life and golf being a bit brutal on the old head sometimes. So, you spoke about your past experiences with therapy and what have you. But if you're when you're going through a tough patch now, do you still use those tools or those facilities, or you know, are you still are you, are you still a regular therapy user or
No, I don't go to therapy anymore.
no?
I think if we were to dig deep, probably need to speak to someone maybe about the dog attack, because there's times I can still feel that dog breathing down my neck, but I'm kind of in control of that. But that's not a nice feeling. But I think my medicine now is golf and running. Running is massive. I ran 600 miles last year. It's
That's amazing,
my
isn't it?
it's
Yeah.
my it's my medicine, my form of
Mm,
medicine, and it all stems from me laying in the back of my mum and dad's garden 6 or 7 years ago, laying in the summer in the garden, and I could hear my kids playing in a back garden in a house that we built between us, and I'm sitting there paying half a mortgage on it, and my brain was like,
yeah.
"Right, this ain't right." So I stuck my headphones in. I found my love of house music and music again, and I was like, "I'm gonna go for a run," and that's it. So when I'm having a shit time, or if work's not great, I haven't run for a few weeks actually. I need to get back out, and I will do when the weather starts kicking in again. I know I
Yeah.
will. I will start running again. It is just my go-to, and it's like I say, if I don't have much work on, it's a sense of achievement as well. I've done that. Even getting out of bed at one point was a sense of achievement. Having a shower was a sense of achievement. So if work dries up a little bit, I'll go for a run. I'll go and do a 5K run. I'll go do a 10K run. I'll go and run 15K, come back, have a shower and go, yeah, do you know what? I've done something today. That feels really, really good. And then I'll get the next day
Yeah.
and go, right, let's see what happens today. And I can't plan anymore. And
No.
5 years down the line, I literally go day by day effectively. I have my diary and if there's meetings and bits and bobs that are coming up, but I just wake up and go, let's see what happens today.
Yeah. Is it something that you've always used running, or is it something that you got into as a result
I
of?
think I've never been a massive. Like I say, we've spoken earlier. I've always been sport mad. I've always sport. I've
Yeah.
always looked after myself. I think I look half decent for my age. I've never really done. My dad was a big runner with the football. Massive. Always used to go. I remember when I used to live at home. He's a massive, massive runner, and I've run then again, but not as much as to what I have done over the last few years, because it just mentally it's a big deal for me. It's just that massive
Yeah.
sense of achievement. It goes right. What have you done today? Well, I just done a 10K run. That's amazing. I didn't earn any money, but you've done something, and that's important to me.
Well, it's like we said earlier, it's that 1%, isn't it? It's that doing that little bit better and making sure that you're okay for that part
Yeah,
of the day or for that day. You've done a big tick by getting out and doing something that's right for your body and your
yeah,
head, so that you can then carry on and be, a good dad or a
absolutely,
good company owner.
absolutely. And the next morning might be, I ache a little bit, but I don't have any work on again. Do you know what? I'll go and do a little 5K run instead. Another
Yeah,
tick.
yeah,
All of a sudden, I've
yeah,
ran 50, 60K in a week, which is
yeah,
bonkers. I never thought I'd ever do it. I'd probably struggle doing a 5K at the moment. I'd do it, but I wouldn't be in any. But I don't do it as a competition. I look at the times and I look at people that are my age, and actually I'm running at a half decent pace. But I don't do it for that. I do it for that.
no,
For that, I
yeah.
get back and go right. Nice shower, job done, good. Clear head. I do feel better for it mentally and physically.
It's that big achievement tick for the day, isn't it? Like you say, if you have a day where nothing's been on work-wise, you've got that big sense of achievement that you've gone out and run 10, 15K or whatever else, and you've achieved that
Absolutely,
milestone
mate.
for
And
the
being
day.
at the age I am, and my knees are working, my ankles are hurting, especially with the football injuries that I've had, my hips are fine.
Yeah,
I can go out and do it. Well, then I'll go and do it until they go. Oh,
yeah,
last summer I went for a walk, and stupidly I walked. I just had a pair of shorts on and my flip flops and my headphones. And I went for a walk. I walked 22 kilometers in the summer
in
in flip
flip-flops.
flops. What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, that was a bit stupid, but once I'm in that zone, it just I had the sun on my back. I was listening to my
Yeah,
music, and I just walked. I
yeah,
literally like Forrest Gump, mate. I just kept on walking, kept on walking. Today, it was stupid doing that in flip flops, but that's just what I do sometimes. I just if I'm in that zone, I go, do you know what? I just thought, well, where am I now? I'm in Bexley. Right, okay, well, I end up walking to Elton, to Greenwich, to
yeah,
Blackheath. I walked for miles, mate. Sweat
yeah,
was off me, but I was getting a suntan. I had my music in. I felt good. But then, like my feet started getting a little bit sore. I'm like, you know what? I've got flip flops on.
yeah,
Slightly stupid, but it's done. I've done it a couple of times. I've done a 15K and a 22K in flip flops. I won't do it. I won't do it again in a short space of time. But that's just what I do sometimes. But no, all good, mate. Like I say, generally, I'm in an okay position. I have had better days than bad days, mate. Where before it was all bad
yeah.
days.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the important thing, isn't it? That's that progress, isn't it? And it's nice that you can have something like even getting lost for 22, 22K in flip flops. It's nice that you can have that mental break that you can just go out and wander for that amount of
Yeah,
time, and like I say, have your music in, and just almost mentally also get a little bit
just in
lost
my
and
And
drift
I do
away.
that with golf as well, mate, to be fair.
Yeah,
I just know that if I go and play some golf with some mates, it's 5 it's nice to be 4 hours, but it's 5, 6, 7 hours in the golf
yeah,
course. You switch off. I mean, like a couple of holes you might walk you might not even talk to them. You little wonder you're
no,
in your own little zone, but then you hook up Adrian, blah, blah, blah. And the same as like the Stuck in the Sand chapter we went to the other week, and I met up with Ricky, I keep saying four brothers, but it's four heads.
yeah,
David at the fuck and Jim James. I can't remember his surname. I can't remember his surname, but we had such a great time. And they message me now and again, but they check in. And I'm going to try and get down in the summer and go play some golf with them down in Portsmouth when they all knock about, get some golf. I
yeah.
think Ricky's doing a charity day thing or a golf day coming up, and I'm going to go. I'm going to drive down to that. And there's a few,
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah, I was looking at signing up today
mate.
actually.
I need a
Yeah.
partner. I don't have a partner. It's a thing.
Okay,
I haven't
I'll have a look at it. Yeah, I'll check the dates.
We'll
Yeah,
have a look at that. Maybe we can partner up. I haven't got a partner. I was going to go on my own. So, there's a few other things that I'm doing with Instagram. I'm talking to a young lad, Jacob, who went out to the house. He's a guy from Wales. He's a pro. I've been
yes,
to
yeah.
him.
Seen it.
We're thinking about doing some stuff this year together, which could be quite exciting. Just a few other little bits, and like I said earlier, if I hit that golf market and it's going okay, I'm excited about doing it. I'm never going to go away from the golf market. I'd always play my golf. I'd always dip in. I'll do it. But if I can then do the same to that paddle market, so my following,
Yeah,
I'm hoping that my following, I want to get myself to like 5,000 followers, then get to 10,000. Then all of a sudden, my range just opens. All of a sudden, instead of me giving people 20% off, I can say, right, 1 week only, 30% off. There's the codes to get
yeah,
involved. I'm just opening up to a massive market, and that's
yeah,
what I do. But like I say, I hope that this story comes across now that my heart is there. It is on my sleeve. I'm a decent guy. I don't just have a place in Spain because I'm Charlie Big Balls. There's a reason why I've got it, and I'm trying to make a business out of it for my kids, effectively. But if it doesn't work, it's my pension pot, or I sell it, and then I think of something else to do with it. Well, who knows? I want to
yeah,
keep it because I put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into that. And like I say, it is surrounded by beautiful, beautiful golf courses. But the flip side of that is if you was to go out there with a family or you want to take the kids out there, you wouldn't see a golf course. It just happens
No.
to be surrounded by golf courses. Manga's 45 minutes away. The location's
Yeah.
fantastic. It really is. And I'm 5 minutes from Villa Martin, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Um,
Sounds like a pretty ideal
it's
setup, doesn't it? Especially, like I say, like if you look at the paddle market's going absolutely boom right now, isn't it? And not
it's
just here,
ma
it's absolutely
it's
everywhere.
massive in Spain. I think I might be wrong in saying this, but I think it kind of originated from Spain, or a lot of it's come from Spain. It's
Oh, okay.
huge in Spain. I might be wrong on that, but I know that it is absolutely massive in Spain. So for a new paddle club to be opened up a 10-15 minute walk from my house, honestly, this is
Dream, isn't
perfect
it?
for me. I've got the golf, I've got the paddle. I'll then start looking at running trails and cycle trails, and then you've got the beach and the pool families.
Yeah.
It's all the setup's there. I get people to meet you at the airport. I get someone to meet and greet you at the house. It's all there. I've got a property team out there. I've got a Spanish team. I've got a golf team out there that organise all your golf buggies, courses, green fees, club hire.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's all there. It's all set up.
One-stop
Pretty much,
shop.
mate.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades. Master of
Yeah.
none, I think they say that.
Yeah, that's it. Fantastic. Okay, Marv, on to the last hole, hole 9, final putt. So if we fast forward a few years, we've touched on it really as to where you want this
Yeah.
to go. But if we say golf and Get Up and Go Rentals has gone exactly as you want it to, how does that picture look in, say, 3 to 5 years' time for you?
I'd love it. I'd love Get Up and Go Rentals to be. I'm not naive, like I said earlier. I know realistically, I'm probably not going to get that booked out for the whole year. Probably. I mean, I'd love to. I don't want to be negative, but if I can get that full up near to throughout the year, I'd be over the moon, because it's effectively like it's a passive income for me. Then I've got a form to
Yeah,
fill in. You want to go there, fill a form in, email it to my team. That's it. We
yeah,
go out there for a week, 2 weeks, a month, do what you want to do. Come play some golf for a long weekend with your mates. Away we go. It just becomes a passive income for me, and then I can trade on other
yeah,
stuff and bits and bobs. And golf stuff, yeah, just I'd love to get myself back down to kind of single figures, but I know the work that's involved to do that. I know there is a golf swing in me to do that, but I can't dedicate the time
no.
to 3 nights a week. But my kids are getting older when it gets, but then so am I. But that swing might start getting a little bit arced and a little bit less power, and all of a sudden, yeah. I mean, I think 9 or 10 is a good handicap for me. It's a solid
Yeah,
handicap, and it always has been like an average handicap for me. Like I said, I've been lower. I think sometimes I might go and shoot a 90 and I'm 18 over par, but on average, like a 10, I think 9 or 10 is a good handicap for me for the amount that I play as
yeah.
well. So
It's a good place to
no,
be, isn't it? You know, no one should grumble at that
not
sort of
at all.
handicap at all at any level.
I do beat myself up. I know there is a better player in me, but I can't. I know with this game that you just can't. You have to dedicate time. You have to put the hours in. I can't just go out there and shoot a 78 every week if I'm not practicing.
No,
It can't matter how good you
no,
are. It's you have to practice. You have to do it. But if I'm not practicing, then I'll take 10 off you.
yeah.
I'll take that. I can't really grumble with that, mate. So
No, not at all. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate how honest you've been throughout absolutely everything. And really appreciate you taking the time to do it
you're
as
more than
well.
welcome.
If you could let everybody know where they can find you online, whether it's websites or Instagram, TikTok.
I've got a website, www.getupandgorentals.com, and my LinkedIn, my Instagram is at Get Up and Go Rentals. I'm on TikTok as well, which is I don't really go on TikTok that much, but I sometimes ping a few videos over there because, like I say, I'm relatively new to the
Yeah,
Instagram and the TikTok world. But I am proud of where it's got to in a relatively short space of time. I'm
yeah,
a brand ambassador for 7 golf manufacturers, the Wakey the caddy, which just got back for the TPT World Tour. It's an Instagram sponsor,
yeah,
which is brilliant. It's just sent me over like a video of a shirt where he's got the logo put on the shirt, which I'm super proud of. And he's a real good guy as well. He's going somewhere with this guy, so which is brilliant. So yeah, looking forward. I'm really looking forward to see where the paddle world could go. Looking forward to still doing loads of stuff in the golf. Still looking forward to meeting other people like you and just actually getting out on that golf course, doing a bit of content, and just who knows where it'll go, mate. Who knows?
yeah. Well, I'm sure it'll all be good things, mate, and I can't wait to see it. But thank you again so much for taking the time out. I
You're
really
more than
appreciate it,
welcome,
Marv.
Sam. And I'm always at the end of the phone if you ever want to chat as well, mate.
No, I appreciate it, mate.
Top
Thank you.
man. Cheers,
Cheers,
Sam.
mate.
Tell mate. Bye bye.
That was another round of 9 holes, 9 questions. Huge thanks for listening. I hope their story in golf and everything behind it gave you something to think about in your own game and your own life. If you enjoyed this episode, it really helps if you follow the podcast, leave a rating or review, and share it with a golfer who you might feel will get something from it. You can find me over on social media as Golf Saved My Life. Come say hi, tell me your favourite hole from this episode, or let me know who you'd like to hear on the show next time round. I'm Sam, this is 9 Holes, 9 Questions, and I'll see you on the next tee.